Hi students, good morning. So welcome back to next part of electrochemistry. That is last part here we are discussing in electrochemistry. That is part 13. So here in part 13, so what we discussed in the last classes of electrochemistry from starting onwards, and so right after finishing the theory part, now after finishing the revising the theory part, now we are going to do the problematic objective pattern of electrochemistry. So see here now, so from starting onwards, what we studied in electrochemistry, so we have to revise that concepts. That is very important. Then only we can go to do the objective pattern. See here, if you look at here, first of all, we studied about the galvanic cells. So see here, so if you take the first part, what is electrochemical cells? Electrochemical cells. What is electrochemical cells? What are electrochemical cells? And how many types are there? So electrochemical cells are these are cells which converts electrical energy to chemical energy, and also vice versa. That means chemical energy to electrical energy. So these are two types of electrochemical cells are there. So one is a galvanic cell. And second one is electrolytic cell. First is galvanic cell, second one is electrolytic cell. So what is the main principle of galvanic cell? So by using chemical reactions, it will convert into electrical energy. This is the main principle of galvanic cell. By using chemical reactions, it will convert into electrical energy. This is the main principle of galvanic cell. So that means, so in the galvanic cell, we are going to take zinc and copper electrodes. So zinc will take at the anode, and copper will take as at a cathode. So anode oxidation takes place, and cathode reduction takes place. So anode oxidation means losing of electrons. See here, if you take in galvanic cell anode and cathode. So if you are going to write the cathode and anode reactions of galvanic cell, anode oxidation takes place here. Here oxidation takes place. That is zinc loses 2 electrons and converts as Zn+2 plus 2 electrons. So what about cathode? Reduction takes place. Cu plus 2 plus 2 electrons. It will take the 2 electrons and converts as Cu. So this is the main principle of galvanic cell. So galvanic cell means it converts chemical energy to electrical energy. So see here, if you add the two reactions, total overall reaction, here we get Zn plus Cu plus 2 gives rise to Zn plus 2 plus Cu. So this is the overall cell reaction. So how can you represent this overall reaction, final reaction in a galvanic cell representation? So here, so how can you represent this one as a cell representation? See, this is electrolytic cell. Or electrolysis. So electrolytic cell or electrolysis. Here, how can you represent this reaction? This reaction can be represented as a cell reaction. Zn by Zn plus 2. So Zn plus 2, Cu plus 2 by Cu. So this is the representation of cell reaction. Next, when you go to electrolytic cell. So when you go to electrolytic cell, see, look at your electrolytic cell. So electrolytic cell will take the electrolyte as NaCl solution. So anode is taken as a positive terminal, and cathode will connect it to negative terminal of the battery. So at anode, positive, at the opposite sign will come here. That means NaCl is converted as Na plus Cl minus, so it is positive. So Cl minus opposite sign ions comes to here. Cl minus gives rise to Cl2 plus 2 electrons. Cl2 plus 2 electrons. So Cl2 is formed here. Cl2 is formed here. Simply you can remember that here anode positive, anode is connected to positive terminal of the battery and cathode is connected to negative terminal of the battery. So anode, but here anode is connected to negative terminal of the battery and cathode is connected to positive terminal of the battery. So oppositely we can connect here. Oppositely we can connect here. So here in this galvanic cell, chemical reactions are converted into electrical energy. But here we can see here electrical energy is converted into electrical energy. We can write here. So electrical energy is converting into chemical reactions. And here anode, we take anode is connected to positive terminal of the battery and the cathode is connected to negative terminal of the battery. So here what we take is NaCl we take. So NaCl will take here. NaCl is taken as electrolyte. So NaCl is converting as Na plus and Cl minus. So anode is connected to positive terminal of the battery and cathode is connected to negative terminal of the battery. So anode is positive. So negative ions comes here. Cl minus converted into Cl2 plus 2 electrons. So 2 Cl minus. If we balance here Cl minus converted into Cl2 and the negative charge is there, the negative charge is converted to 2 electrons. So this is formed here. And next when you go to cathode here, cathode negative. So positive opposite sign will come here. Na plus 2 electrons converted to 2Na. Na plus 2 electrons converted to 2Na. That means here Cl2 and Na is produced. So when electricity is passed through the NaCl electrolyte solution, it will convert to Na plus and Cl minus. So Na plus moves towards the oppositely signed anode and the Cl minus moves towards the oppositely signed cathode. So 2 Cl minus gives rise to Cl2 and 2 plus 2 electrons and Na plus converts to 2Na. So finally here Cl2 and Na are formed. What about in galvanic cell? By using that chemical energy, electrical energy is produced. See, anode electrons are released. That electrons released moves towards the cathode. The cathode electrons gained by Cu plus 2 and oppositely in that direction from cathode to anode, electrical energy is produced. So anode to cathode, look at here. Anode to cathode. So anode to cathode, electrons are moved. Cathode to anode. Simply you can write as C2A. Current will move. C2A, current will move. And anode to cathode. See, anode to cathode. Otherwise, electrons will move in the opposite direction. This direction. Current will move in this direction, and electrons will move in this direction. This is very important concept. So this is about electrochemical cells. There are two types of electrochemical cells. There galvanic cell and electrolytic cell. So this reaction will happen in galvanic cell. That reaction will happen in electrolytic cell. So take a screenshot for notes. Next, next one, second concept of this electrochemistry is SHM. SHM, that is standard hydrogen electrode. Standard hydrogen, SHE, standard hydrogen electrode. That is SHE, standard hydrogen electrode. Standard hydrogen electrode. So what is the cell reaction? So what will happen here is when 26 atmosphere of air H2 is passed through the electrolyte. So here if you take 1 molar concentration of solution, 1 molar concentration of HCl solution, 1 molar concentration of HCl solution at 25 degrees centigrade. So these are the conditions. If these conditions are there only, the standard hydrogen electrode will work. So what will happen is 2H plus 2 electrons gives rise to H2. 2H plus 2 electrons gives rise to H2. 2H plus 2H electrons gives rise to H2. Like that, this will happen at cathode. Anode. This will happen at a cathode and at a anode, and H2 loses 2H plus and forming 2 electrons. That means what we have to observe here is same hydrogen, it is gaining electrons at cathode, same hydrogen losing electrons at anode. That means it can be used as both cathode and anode. It can be used in cathode and also as well as anode. So this is SHM, standard hydrogen electrode. Standard hydrogen electrode. What is the concentration? Concentration of 1 molar will take a HCl at 25 degrees centigrade. And what is the electrode potential of standard hydrogen electrode? Standard hydrogen electrode. What is electrode potential? Electrode potential is 0.00 volts. 0.00 volts. This is also very important. SHE, electrode potential of SHE 0.00 volt. So these are the conditions are applicable in standard hydrogen electrode. By using this only we can calculate the unknown electrode potential of the electrode. This is about SHE, standard hydrogen electrode. Standard hydrogen electrode is taken as a reference electrode. Standard hydrogen electrode is taken as reference electrode. This is very important point. Standard hydrogen electrode is taken as a reference electrode. So this is about SHE. Next, when you go to here, Neven's equation. What is Neven's equation? So the equation which is used to calculate the electrode potential of Neven's equation. It is used to calculate the electrode potential of a cell, by using standard hydrogen electrode. That is E cell is equal to E naught cell minus 0.059 by m into log of m by m plus concentration. So this is the equation used to calculate the electrode potential of a cell for Neven's equation. So here compulsory we can use the electrode, you can calculate the electrode potential by using SHE, standard hydrogen electrode potential, by using the concentration of standard hydrogen electrode potential. That means here M concentration is equal to 1. Concentration of M is equal to purely metal is equal to 1. So finally here E cell is equal to E naught cell. E cell is equal to E naught cell minus 0.059 by N into log of 1 by M plus concentration. 1 by M plus concentration. Why it becomes 1? Because the concentration of standard hydrogen electrode is equal to pure metal concentration is equal to standard hydrogen electrode concentration. Standard hydrogen electrode concentration is equal to 1. That is equal to 1. So only we have taken 1 there. So finally the equation became as E cell is equal to E naught cell minus 0.059 by N into log of 1 by M plus concentration. So this is about SHE and the next equation. So take a screenshot. Next, see here, what is the resistance? We can go to the some important terms of this electrochemistry. Resistance R is directly proportional to L by A. So resistance R is equal to, already we studied this, resistance R is equal to rho into L by A. And what is conductance? Conductance is equal to C is equal to 1 by R. That is equal to 1 by rho into A by L. That will become as C is equal to K into A by L. This is conductance. What about this one? Specific conductance is equal to specific conductance. And next, what is the specific conductance? Specific conductance is equal to conductance. Specific conductance is equal to conductance of unit length by unit area. Specific conductance equal, by this one we can calculate that K is equal to if we cross multiply this C into L by A. Specific conductance is equal to conductance, product of conductance into length by area of the cross section. So this is about specific conductance. And C refers as conductance. L is length between the two electrodes. A is area of cross section. Between the two electrodes. So next, when we go to next concept of next term, that is lambda m. Lambda m is equal to molar conductance. So what is molar conductance? Molar conductance is equal to conductance per volume. That means you have taken as a value into centimeter cube, which is 1000 by molarity. Molarity means what? Number of moles per liter. So molar conductance is equal to conductance into 1000 by molarity. Molar conductance is equal to conductance 1000 by molarity. So like that, equivalent conductance is equal to conductance into 1000 by normality. Here we have to consider normality. If you go for a molar means molarity. Molarity is equal to number of moles per liter. Normality is equal to number of equivalents per liter. So these are the terms which are very important to calculate the problems also. So here we take K into 1000 by M into cc, centimeter cube. Here also K into 1000 by M into centimeter cube. So here finally, so these are the terms which are very important in electrochemistry for doing the problems. One is resistance. Resistance is directly proportional to L by A. Resistance is equal to rho into L by A. Conductance C is equal to 1 by R. That is equal to 1 by rho into A by L. That is C is equal to K into A by L. If you take the 1 by rho is what we take as kappa. This is called kappa. This is called as kappa, and this is a specific conductance. This name is specific conductance. So when you come to next specific conductance, how can you define the specific conductance? Specific conductance is equal to conductance and length between the two electrodes per unit area. Length between the two electrodes and unit area. So that expression for mathematical expression can be written as K is equal to C into L by A. K is equal to C into L by A. So what is K here? K is specific conductance and C is conductance. L is length between the two electrodes and A is area of cross section. So next lambda M. Lambda M is molar conductivity. Lambda M molar conductivity, that is equal to K into 1000 by M. And next M is molarity. M is molarity, number of moles per liter. Lambda EQ. Lambda EQ is equivalent conductance. Equivalent conductance is equal to conductance into 1000 by N. Into 1000 by N. So that is lambda EQ is equal to K into 1000 by N. So this is about terms which are very important for electrochemistry: resistance, conductance, conductivity, molar conductance, and equivalent conductance. So take a notes, take a screenshot for notes. Next variation of lambda M or lambda EQ with the dilution. Lambda M or lambda EQ with the dilution. See, simple here. On dilution, that means dilution means adding more water. See, this is actually here NaCl is there. So if you add water to this one, so what happens if you add water here? So if you add water here, value becomes increases. Look at here. On dilution, that means what increases. So what happened to value? Value also increases. So what happened to molarity? Molarity decreases. How? Molarity is equal to number of moles per liter. That means value. So if value is increased, what is the factor that affects of molarity? So what will happen to molarity? Value is inversely proportional to molarity. So value is increased automatically. Molarity decreases. Molarity is decreases. So if on dilution increases, value is increases. Value is increased automatically. Molarity decreases because of molarity is inversely proportional to m is inversely proportional to value. So like that. After that, if molarity decreases, what about conductivity? What about conductivity? Conductivity, see the formula. Conductivity is equal to K into 1000 by m. 1000 by m. So K is m is decreases. So K is inversely proportional to m. K is increases. K is increases. So like that, after that, finally, specific conductance increases. What about lambda m? What about lambda m? Lambda m is equal to K into lambda m is equal to K into 1000 by m. 1000 by m. Lambda m is equal to K into 1000 by this is so here K is equal to what's K is equal to C into L by K into C into L by M. See here, if molarity, simple we can directly write here, molarity is increases, molarity is decreases, molarity is decreases. So what about to lambda m? See, molarity is inversely proportional to lambda m. Molarity is inversely proportional to lambda m. So lambda m is automatically decreasing. So it is decreasing. So it is increasing. Lambda m is increases. Lambda m or lambda eq, all both are same. So lambda eq also. Okay. So finally, what I want to say is on dilution. Finally, see here. On dilution, value is increasing. Value is increasing. So due to this, the fact that molarity is decreasing. Due to that, the next lambda m, that is molar conductivity factor, is increases. Molar conductivity factor is increases. Lambda eq also increases. So finally, what I want to say is on dilution increases. Lambda m and lambda eq are increasing. Lambda m and lambda eq are increasing. So on dilution increases, lambda m and lambda eq also increasing. So this will happen to the on dilution. So finally here, so what factors on dilution? The question will ask as on dilution, lambda m and lambda eq, lambda m and lambda eq, 1 increases, 2 decreases, 3 remains same, and 4 none. So which is the correct option here? On dilution, lambda eq and lambda m are increases. So which here first option is increases. So in this way they will ask the questions. So if you know the concept, then we can write easily. We can answer easily the objective pattern. So this is a concept on dilution. What on dilution, lambda eq and lambda m increases or decreases. What is the effect of lambda m and lambda eq on dilution? So take a screenshot for notes. Next molar conductivity is finished. Next limiting molar conductivity. So what happens to limiting molar conductivity? How can you calculate limiting molar conductivity for strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes? Strong electrolytes. The graph will be like this. It will cut here. Here. When you draw the graph between concentration and versus lambda m. So we know the formula. Lambda m is equal to lambda naught m minus a into uc. This is Debye-Hansager equation. Lambda m is a molar conductivity. Molar conductivity. Lambda naught m limiting molar conductivity. A is constant and C is concentration. So if you draw the graph between lambda m and C concentration, so what will happen? The point where it touches on lambda m is called as the limiting molar conductivity. Is called as limiting molar conductivity. So it is the conductivity. It is the molar conductivity. It is the molar conductivity. And is the limiting molar conductivity. Limiting molar conductivity. Limiting molar conductivity. A is constant. And C is concentration. C is concentration. So M is lambda m is molar conductivity. Lambda naught m is limiting molar conductivity. A is constant and C is concentration. So if you draw the graph between molar conductivity and the concentration, so what happens for strong alkalis? Strong alkalis dissociation is completely takes place. Strong alkalis dissociation is completely takes place. That means degree of dissociation alpha is equal to 1. Degree of dissociation alpha is equal to 1. So the graph will be written as, it will increase when the concentration decreases, lambda m is increases, and it touches a point, that point is called as a limiting molar conductivity. That point is called as limiting molar conductivity. So for strong alkalis, we can easily calculate the limiting molar conductivity because this degree of dissociation is 1. Degree of dissociation is 1. For weak alkalis, so this is for strong alkalis. So take a screenshot, then we will go to weak alkalis. Here, next for weak alkalis. For weak alkalis, alpha is less than 1. Alpha is less than 1. Why? Because the dissociation is completely not take place. Dissociation is completely not take place. So alpha is less than 1. Alpha is less than 1. Dissociation is not completely take place. Not completely take place. So dissociation is not completely take place. So for weak alkalis, alpha is less than 1 because dissociation is not completely take place. How means, see here, if you take ethyl alcohol, this is weak alkaline, which fits as CH3COO minus plus H+. CO minus plus H+. CH3COH gives CH3CO minus plus H+. So if you take 100 here, initially 100 are there, react. So products are 0 and 0. So what about here? It is 50 and it is 49 because it's completely not dissociated case. So some amount is remains here. Some amount is remain here. So some amount is remains here. 100 minus that amount is 99. 100 minus 99. So alpha, if you take the alpha here, sum of products of concentration, that is 50 plus 49 divided by initial concentration 100. That is 99 by 100. 99 by 100. That is equal to 0.99. 0.99. That means alpha is less than 1. Alpha is less than 1. So for weak alkalis, alpha is less than 1. Why? Because dissociation is not completely take place. Dissociation is not completely take place. So if you draw the graph here, between concentration and lambda m, between concentration and lambda m, if concentration is decreases, lambda m is decreases automatically. It does not touches. See here, it does not touches like this. It does not touches like this. Simply it will going on increasing like this. Going on increasing like this. So if we draw the graph like between this one, if we draw the graph between lambda m and C for weak alkalis, it does not touches the lambda m. So that means we cannot find out the lambda naught lambda not m. That means we cannot find out the limiting molar conductivity for vehicle lights. We cannot find out the limiting molar conductivity for vehicle lights. Why? Because the alpha is less than 1. It does not completely dissociating take place. So for strong electrolytes, dissociation is completely take place. For weak electrolyte, dissociation is not completely take place. Here alpha is equal to 1, alpha is less than 1. Here the graph will come as it touches the lambda m. So limiting molar conductivity becomes limiting molar conductivity. Here we can calculate limiting molar conductivity lambda not m. But here we cannot. It is difficult to calculate the limiting molar conductivity. So due to that only, Kohler is a scientist who proposed this law. Kohler is a scientist proposed this law, that is the Kohler's law. To calculate the limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolytes, Kohler is a scientist who proposed a law that is called Kohler's law. First you note this one, take a screenshot after you go to Kohler's law. So what is Kohler's law? What is Kohler's law? Limiting molar conductivity for weak electrolytes at infinite dilution. Limiting molar conductivity for weak electrolytes at infinite dilution is equal to molar conductivity for cation and molar conductivity for anion. Lambda m infinity. So is equal to limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolyte solution at infinite dilution is equal to molar conductivity. Molar is equal to algebraic sum of molar conductivities of cation and molar conductivities of anion. This is Kohler's law. So from these applications are there, alpha is equal to lambda m by lambda m. This is first application. Alpha m is equal to lambda m by, and second one K equilibrium dissociation constant. This is dissociation, degree of dissociation. Dissociation constant, degree of dissociation constant. Dissociation constant C alpha by 1 minus alpha. C alpha squared by 1 minus alpha. So these are the two applications of Kohler's law. What is Kohler's law? The limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolyte solution at infinite dilution is equal to molar conductivities of cation and molar conductivities of anion. Algebraic sum of molar conductivities of cation and molar conductivities of anion. And next, what are the two applications? Degree of dissociation alpha is equal to lambda m by lambda m, not m. And the dissociation constant K is equal to C alpha squared by 1 minus alpha. So this is about Kohler's law. Next we will go to Faraday's laws. Faraday's law. Faraday's first law. The amount of substance deposited, already discussed, this is revision, so directly I am writing here. The amount of substance deposited is directly proportional to Q, quantity of electricity passed through it. So W is equal to Z into Q. So Z is called as electrochemical equivalent. So W is equal to E by F into Q. So what is E? Equivalence. So Z is equal to E by F. So only I wrote here. So W is equal to m by nf into q. M by nf into q. So here 1 mole of alcohol is equal to 1 farad. 1 mole of alcohol is equal to 1 farad. This is also very important formula. And therefore, from this we can derive, and next q is equal to nf. Q is equal to nf. In current, we can multiply as a number of charges. One more formula is that P is equal to I into T. P is equal to I into T. This is first law. Second law, when you go to second law, when same quantity of current is passed through the electrolyte, solution, its mass deposit or the amount of substance deposit is directly proportional to their respective equivalent weights. So if one is from 1, so M2 proportional to E2, and M3 proportional to E3. So finally, we can M1 is to M2 is to M3, M1 is to M3 is equal to E1 is to E2 is to E3. So this is the expression derived from the second law. So this is the concept, theory concept we are revised